The Army Painter is my favorite hobby company in the entire world. My desk is literally full of Army Painter products, and it takes me from being an average painter to putting above tabletop standard models out into the tournament scene. Not only that, but the Army Painter has sponsored more competitive play than any other hobby company in the industry. They allow us to keep doing the things that we do. If you enjoy the Army Painter as much as I do, head over to thearmypainter.com where you can use the discount code ARTOWAR5 to get a discount on your next order.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another super exciting Art of War tier list. Demons tier list. That's right. We're doing the best faction. Everyone's favorite faction. Certainly mine. It's got Fateweaver. How can you not love it?
I mean, Fateweaver's gonna die with all the games we play, but like...
He's great all the time, Quentin. You get that slander out of here. Today, we're gonna be ranking every single Daemon Datasheet in today's tier list. Of course, we're a competitively focused channel, so we're gonna be ranking it through the lens of a competitive Warhammer player. We're also gonna be taking all these datasheets in like context of how their best case uses. So if they need to join a unit to do their thing, or if they need to be in a certain detachment to live their best life, we're gonna do that.
Yeah, some of these characters might want an enhancement. If they're really good with an enhancement, we're going to take that into consideration.
Before we get too deep into today's tier list, let me just take a minute and tell you all about the War Room. That's where we have all of our special feature content. So you can get access to it and see 3 different coaching matches per week. Quentin's What's the Play series.
My favorite.
And we've got missions breakdowns, we've got faction fundamentals, we've got the new masterclass. We're breaking one down on Eldari right now. And we've got things like Jack Theory and a new series, What I Learned This Week. We've got 10 to 15 videos coming out every single week, and you can access it all for free right now with the free trial in the description below, thewarroom.vhx.tv. So if you're interested in competitive 40K, learning the game and becoming your best, absolutely please check it out.
All right, so up first, we have Blessed by Chaos as our S tier stand-in. Then we have A for Awesome, Bread and Butter, B tier. Cursed by Chaos for those data sheets that are just not quite good enough to ever take. And then D for Don't Take That.
You just don't take
that.
And then, because you all requested this just literally so much, we've got the unit being discussed here. Thank you. We do listen to your feedback. Starting off with our very first one, the Beast of Nurgle.
The Beast of Nurgle. What does the Beast of Nurgle even do, Nick?
The Beast of Nurgle, let me tell you about him, Q. He's so cute and cuddly. He recently got a glow up in the latest Balance Data Slate. Now he's Scout 6 inches, which is awesome to help his cause. He's basically a mission tool piece. You can take him in units of 1 or 2. You're going to take him in units of 1, 65 points. They're toughness 9 with 7 wounds, and if you don't one-shot the beast in no single phase, he literally just gets all his wounds back for free.
That's annoying.
It's really annoying. And he's OC3. And did I mention he's toughness 9 with 7 wounds? He's actually really tough to kill.
That's like a small tank.
So he's really good for just like actions, especially actions which require you to survive through your opponent's turn, like sabotage or recover assets. That really helps, you know, the beast do his beast thing.
So are we feeling for the Beast of Nurgle?
I don't know, Q. I think he's a bread and butter pick. He's solid.
He doesn't hit that hard.
He doesn't really do anything besides these actions and stand places. But staying places is what wins Warhammer sometimes.
Up next, we have a unit that just got a huge glow up. We have Belakor himself.
He got the glow up he needed. He got the glow up we all deserve. He now is just such a monster. He gained an attack. He's got 7 attacks now, depending on your attachment. In Disciples of Belakor, he gets access to Dark Packs for lethal and sustain, which he can auto-pass.
He doesn't even hurt himself.
He doesn't.
He doesn't even hurt himself.
He literally can't hurt himself doing that. And he's got quite a good gun. 12 shots of Strength 6, AP 3, 1 damage, and devastating wounds. He has 3 new auras to choose from, so still an 18-inch loan up, which is tried and true. But also, he's got a real ones to hit aura, which makes that new gun with sustained hits and lethal hits really quite amazing. And then he's got a Battle Shock aura, which is now 9 inches. If you're below starting strength, you have to take a Battle Shock test. And for every time an enemy fails Battle Shock, Belakor heals.
My poor Drakari have just gotten murdered by Belakor so many times.
No, like literally so many times.
Is he blessed by Chaos?
He's blessed by Chaos. He's in like every good demon list, I would say. I mean, I'm sure you could make one without him, but he's actually my favorite data sheet these days.
Is he better than Bloodcrushers?
He's better than Bloodcrushers. Yeah. But that's not to say Bloodcrushers are bad. Bloodcrushers are back on the menu, folks. Let me tell you. They actually took a recent nerf because they lost their 4th middle save and went to a 5-up. But what they gained is worth it, because in Shadow Legion, they get access to native advance and charge.
Oh, wow, that is huge.
Yeah. Also in Shadow Legion, they have access to 1 CP Channeled Wrath to give them Lance and +1 AP because they're Khorne.
Oh, that's a massive damage buff.
It's a massive
damage buff.
They had advance in charge. So they've kind of shifted from being this like super tanky unit that doesn't do that much to a much more mobile attacking piece that is still tanky. It's still 4 wounds, it's up to 7, 3 up armor save. Like they are not free to kill by any means, even with the invulnerable save loss. And in all forms of demons, you can buff them pretty heavily.
So where are you feeling for our friends, the Bloodcrushers?
I'm thinking A for awesome.
A for awesome.
They sure are awesome.
Wow, I like that. And what about their horseless friends, the Bloodletters?
Well, they're also not that bad because the mount isn't what does the work on these guys. Bloodletters are actually still move 8. And again, in Shadow Legion, they have advance and charge. Or in Demonic Incursion, you can just 6-inch deep strike them and charge that way. So in a lot of different ways.
Very deliverable. Very deliverable, yeah.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, you can take an OC 20 unit for 110 points and just put it on objectives and move block people and jam them up and contest things. Also, they don't hit bad. It's 2 attacks, each is strength 5, AP 2 damage. But of course, they'll benefit from the Khorne buffs if you're going down Ren Masters or from Channel's Wrath +1 AP and Lance.
Yeah, another downside is that they are quite fragile. They're not high toughness, so they're 1 wound, right?
They're 1 wound, they're 5 and
so they just die like bolters.
Yeah. At one time, they're a fine objective skirmishing trade piece. When you start to add characters, it kind of shifts and roll, but we'll cover that.
Yeah. So where are we feeling for our friendless Bloodletters?
I actually think this unit floats between A and B, but I'm going to call it a bread and butter tier. You don't need these to be competitive. They don't make every list, but they are a fine unit.
We better than the Beast?
I think we're better than the Beast.
Better than the Beast, okay.
No, I like the Beast, but the Beast.
But the Beast, he's cuter. All right, so up next, we have a leader for those Bloodletters, so the Bloodmaster.
Yeah, okay, so let me tell you about this guy. He actually gives you quite a few buffs.
Okay.
65 points. He gives you 6-inch consolidates.
That's, I used to hate 6-inch consolidate. I was like, no one's ever going to use this rule. No, it's really good.
It's really
good.
Not 6-inch pylons, no you. So it is substantially worse.
That is much worse.
Also gives you +1 to wound for your unit. So like him and the Bloodletters +1, that's a real buff.
Yep.
And he himself is 5 tats at strength 6, AP 2, 3 damage, which is also not.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah.
He's 65 points, which all in all is not expensive for a character like that.
No.
But here's the kicker. In Shadow Legion, you have access to Channel's Wrath +1 to wound from Lance. So the +1 to wound is very redundant.
That's not that great.
So he's not really going to get taken there. You could put him in Demonic Incursion, where you have 6-inch deep strikes as your delivery method. That does help. But then what I find is you're paying 175 for your Bloodletter unit, which still just comes down, charges what's in front of it, and takes an objective. You might be able to now punch up and kill like a light vehicle with a +1 to wound, but you're not really moving the needle too far on how much your damage goes.
No, I think that's hit like a little bit harder, but not like wildly harder.
Because while +1 to wound is an amazing buff, you have 0 rerolls. And you're still strength 5 +1 to wound. So you're like hit on 3s, wound on 4s or 5s.
Yeah. And you don't have to put any attacks either.
And you do 2 attacks each. You're like, you end up getting an extra 2 to 3 wounds at best from this ability, which is like not worth 65 points on your unit that wants to just trade on an objective.
You're also nearly halfway to just another unit.
Yeah, that's another thing. Like a 65 points is also a Beast of Nurgle, or like 5 points away from 5 Flesh Hounds.
Yeah. So where does he get to live?
He's not D for don't take. I'll admit I've taken him. They have purpose. But he is a little cursed by chaos.
Oh.
He's cursed from the opportunity cost of I could take so many other beautiful data sheets.
Well, what about the big boy of Khorne? We have the Bloodthirster.
Okay. So in 90% of use cases, including in the Khorne attachment, I think this guy is terrible.
He's awful.
He is way too many points for his defense, has no rerolls, can often mess up killing something that's actually worth killing, and is 300-something points.
My one experience with the Bloodthirster was hearing you complain because he charged like a wounded Canis, did 0 damage, and then died.
Yeah. And then like he's an aura of 6 inches +1 to hit for your Khorne demons, which is good. I'm not saying that's bad. But when you take your Khorne demon army and you put it in a small circle and you charge an opponent's small circle, then the turn after is going to be pretty ugly for you, I promise.
Yep.
So it's not that practical of a use case. But then they came out with this brand new detachment called Shadow Legion. Now look, Quentin, do you know about Shadow Legion?
A little bit.
You know a little bit. Let me tell you a little bit more.
Oh, no.
Okay, so there's this enhancement. It's called Fade to Darkness. Fade to Darkness, it basically turns your Bloodthirster into a Warp Talon. After you've killed an enemy unit in the fight phase, If you're not engaged, you just go into reserve, which means you can re-ingress and just keep on Bloodthirster looping.
That's so good. It means he doesn't have to be tough because he can just leave.
That's true.
Just leave.
My number one complaint with him is that he's not tough. Despite being a giant monster that's 300 something points, he actually just dies. But now, your opponent can't hit him, and he gets to appear right where it's best for you every single turn. And you don't spend CP on it. You can just go into reserve.
That's really good.
It's really good. Demons love to play a control game. And one of the styles of rule that really helps you play a control game is some sort of fire and fade type of mechanic. Think Eldar. Now, think demons. Think Bloodthirster, fire and fading, fight and fading. Hitting you, going in reserves, hitting you, going in reserves. It's great.
Okay, so you blessed by chaos?
Blessed by chaos.
Blessed by chaos. Better
Talk about 0 to hero. Not better than Belakor, but the 2 hold hands to victory.
Okay, changing tackle, but we have a very tiny demon. We have the blue horrors.
Oh, these cute little guys.
They gotta run around and they infiltrate, right?
They infiltrate. So you pay 125 for actual 0 offense on 10 bodies, which can split into slightly more than
4 pinball.
So they have 4 pinball.
That's not nothing.
And they are 6-inch aura of -1 leadership, which in demons also.
That's a relevant rule.
And they allow you to get shadows up in midfield like at the start of the game because you start on objectives.
Okay, so it's a unit that does nothing but has a lot of like cute ancillary effects.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Overall, 125 is
Wait, 125 for this unit?
Yeah.
That is 50 points more than I thought it was going to be.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
If there was 75 quid, I'd probably take 30. I'd be like, let's jam people up with these little things. But
125 points for these?
yeah. And then you realize that
For blue horrors?
I really don't think these are these are not D for don't take them. I think they're cursed by chaos. There are edge case scenarios where I'm taking them.
Are they better than the Bloodmaster?
No, they're not better. They're flirting with D for don't take that.
Why are they so expensive?
Just look at the commando, look at the blue R. Look at the scout.
Wow.
You get 10 scouts for like it costs us a blue R. I'm done. I have to stop.
Almost at 10 striking scorpions. Okay, but what happens if they're on a fancy magic carpet and there's only 2 of them? And where are the blue scribes?
The scribes is what happens when you take 2 blue horrors and you teach them how to read and put them on a disc. This is like the definition of blank slate
Load up? Yeah.
It is, I think, 75 points.
Okay.
It is a move 12 loan op. It has no offense at all. It has technically an attack or 2. It has no gun. It is a loan op.
Does it have like the scribe squill?
The scribe mortals aren't 0. I shouldn't discount those. So you fly near an enemy, and then at the end of the movement phase, you roll a d6 for every unit within 6. And on a 2 through 5, you take a mortal. And like a 6, you take like d3 mortals.
Oh, that's worse than I thought.
I might be shortchanging. It might be like 2 or 3, you take a mortal, and like 4 or 5, you take d3, and 6, you take more. I don't remember. But the really cool part about the blue scribes, which nobody knows.
Yeah.
He's a 12-inch aura of -1 to wound for psychic weapons.
Wait, that's kind of credible, actually.
Yeah, it's actually incredible. So against like Grey Knight melee or like Thousand Suns flamer spam, like he's actually kind of absurd. He's like a matchup changer, honestly. But in most cases, he is a 75-point blank slate loan op.
I would pay 75 points for a loan op, but probably not much more than that.
Yeah, I think he's a fine choice in the demon army. I think he's some bread and butter. He competes because demons have like a ton of 65 to 80 point units that all do the same thing. Virtually nothing but score a point. Like he and the Beast of Nurgle are real competitors.
Yeah, they really are. What about the Burning Chariot? Also Zinch, also on disc, but he pretends to have some offense?
Yeah, he's a very interesting unit, I must say. I've tried him a bunch of times. So he like tries to shoot. He's got an Exalted Flamer's worth of shooting. So 2d6 Flamer shots or the 3 big shots at 9-3-3. Which you can buff pretty easily to 10-3-3 if he's near Lord Change.
It's not nothing.
It's not nothing. It just hits on 3s and has no rerolls. So like if you're shooting a tank, you hit on 3s, you will on 4s.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
So, and you do 3 damage. Woo. And then you can't get that many of these guys, and they're large bases, so it's certainly not that many in the same location can connect and binding firepower to like actually add up. So like practically that big base is pretty annoying. And then they have like an amount of combat.
Yeah, it exists.
They've got 2 Screamers, which did not get the glow up that all the other Screamers got. So it's just like 6 attacks and 6/2/2. They hit on 4s. Which is like, yeah, that's the face of 6 attacks. They hit on 4s.
3 hits, 1 wound.
Its big thing is that after it hits you with its gun, and remember the Flamer auto hits you, the other gun's 3 shots, it's probably gonna hit you. your army knows cover against the target, which can really buff up the Lord of Change and Fateweaver, who are pretty much always suffering from giving the opponent cover.
Yeah, I mean, that helps. The problem is then you're taking a mediocre unit to buff your mediocre shooting.
That's true. You are taking but you don't have a plethora of data sheets that do this job. You know, it's a very unique job.
It is.
I don't think it's great at anything.
It's a 4-pin roll, right?
It has a 4-pin roll. It's got 9 wounds. It is it's reasonably tough.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying to kill.
It's also move 10 fly. I think it's like we're gonna have a very crowded bread and butter section, but I think it's in there.
Where do you think so?
Just like in the back.
Okay.
Right there.
Cool. Nick, I did not know this model existed. You sent me the list of Daemon Datasheets when I made the graphics, and I had to look up what this was. We have the Changecaster. I didn't know it was a thing.
The Changecaster is older than you are, Quinn. He's timeless.
What does he do?
Okay, so this is the functional foot herald of Zeech.
Okay.
And joins either pink horrors or blue horrors. And let me tell you why he's never going to join blue horrors, because they infiltrate. You pay out the wazoo for infiltrate, as we just talked about.
125 points for that roll.
And when you add this character, he takes away infiltrate because he does not have it. So you're never doing that.
That is garbage.
Instead, he's going to join your pink horrors. Now, what does he offer?
I'm going to guess he gives them like +1 strength, +1 AP, +1 attack to their flickering fire shooting attack.
What do you think this is? Space Marines? 3 buffs on one character?
I don't know.
No, you get sustained hits on your horror attacks. And then you're still going to be strength 4 and AP 1 and 1 damage, but you could go down the rabbit hole and have a little
How many points is he?
Well, Queen, for the mere cost of just 60, you get sustained hits and get a character.
60 points to get 1 or 2 extra bolter hits?
Yeah. You really could pay for that.
Can I put him in D for don't take that?
Yes, that's why we have this tier, D for don't take that Changecaster. You didn't know why it existed? You know me. I'm a creative Warhammer player. I'll try all that bad stuff. I have never even considered this man.
That is impressive.
That.
He might be the worst data sheet I've ever read.
Daemon data sheets are deep and trashy.
So we have another Herald-esque thing. We have 2 Demonettes with a giant mirror, the Contorted Epitome.
This unit used to be so good, and now it's okay.
What is it? It gives you a 4 Feculent Pain?
Yeah, Demonettes. That's right. It gives you 4 Feculent Pain from mortals and psychic attacks on your Demonettes.
That is much worse.
And because it's so niche, it never really gets usage. But let me tell you, it's also not infantry. So in your Demonette squad's infantry, it's going to have to go around.
Well, it has to go around walls. Wow.
That's only a minor inconvenience.
That's pretty big, though.
It's pretty big.
What is this? Like mounted beast?
I think it's mounted.
Oh God,
it's the worst beast. It could also go through walls.
But and then the Demonettes have both mounted and it's terrible.
Terrible.
It's terrible.
But let me tell you, it's got an edge case. In the Legions of Excess detachment, which has been nerfed into the ground.
It's one of the worst, if not the worst, detachment in the game.
I think it's a little worse, but it is bad.
It's competing with Null Maiden Vigil for it's
going in D for don't take that in the detachment tier list. Yes. So in that detachment, you can access a stratagem called Thieves of Pain. And Thieves of Pain lets you shift damage that you are taking, convert it into mortal wounds on a fiend unit or something, and then shift it off to a nearby Slaanesh unit in 9. They're stealing the pain. So you can have this Contorted Epitome join 10 Demonettes, give them 4 Feculent Pain against mortals, and then have the fiends make their damage into mortals and feed it into the Demonettes, and the Demonettes are theoretically getting 4 Feculent Pains against that. It's not that good.
Can I tell you my experience with this?
I would love to hear it.
Every single time someone does this, they're I got a 4 Feculent Pain against mortals, and I'm awesome. Now I get to kill a Contorted Epitome as well as both units.
It sounds like it'd be cool. Let me keep my fiends alive and lose half as many Demonettes. In reality, you're losing your fiends and your Demonettes, and you spent a command point to do it.
And also your Contorted Epitome.
D for don't take.
D for don't take that.
Better than the Herald, only because of that one edge case I could think of.
We have a literal demon. We have the Daemon Prince on foot, no wings.
Okay, Daemon Prince on foot. He's got one minor curse.
What does he do?
He doesn't have wings. That's a curse.
How fast does he move?
He moves 10. He's not slow.
Okay, that's not terrible.
No.
That's not awful.
It's not awful. And then, or it might be that he moves 8 and then you can make him Slaanesh to move 10. Could be that. Because the different gods give him different buffs. But his real thing, and the reason you would consider him, is that he's a 6-inch orb of stealth for all demons.
That's cool.
That is cool. That's genuinely cool.
Yeah.
Big monsters love some stealth.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. -1 to hit for shooting armies. Most armies don't ignore mods, just like Riptides is pretty much it. So you're really actually going to have stealth. The challenge here is that he's just a 200-point Daemon Prince that only buffs your other monsters. And when you look at the cost of the best monsters, he's not that far off.
So
And you upgrade him to like a big greater demon, that's better than giving 4 other guys stealth.
right. So is he just like a regular Daemon Prince where he's like some attacks at like 8-2-3 and like a hell gun, and then he just kind of lays around?
So he's got normal 8-2-3 Daemon Prince stats, a pretty decent sweep, but it's only AP0-1 damage.
Yeah.
The thing with this Daemon Prince's special ability is once per game for a phase, he could have a 3-up end bulk.
That's cute.
Yeah, and like your opponents, especially in melee matchups, they send the big scary thing at the Prince, and you go 3-up invul and you live and you take it and you hit him. 3-up invul is good, but like he's still vulnerable to mortals. The man is 10 very expensive wounds and like a grenade and a tank shock, and you're halfway there.
And like one lucky las cannon, and that's just the game.
Yeah, that's the end of him. It's not that he's bad, it's that he's overcosted.
Okay, where is he? Is he cursed by chaos?
He's cursed. I gave it away. He's cursed with no wings.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
What if he had wings though?
Then he's no longer cursed. He's
No
broken free. The Daemon Prince with wings is substantially better. So largely he doesn't buff your nearby guys. No
Okay.
Thora. Instead, he focuses and channels all of his rules into offense.
That is better.
That is
That's better. He flies and he moves fast.
He gets there, he flies and he moves faster.
Yeah.
And he hits harder when he gets there. So
Oh, wow.
all the things I had to
Yeah.
his rule, he's 2 of them. One is a once per game, and one is an all the time. All the time, at the start of the fight phase, when he's selected attack, he can choose between sustained hits, lethal hits, or precision.
Those are all good rules.
Yeah, he can just hop that. And then once per game, just have 3 more attacks.
That's a good rule.
That's another good roll.
Okay.
And if he's corn, you got another attack and strength in there too. Why not?
It's okay. So he's what, like 10 attacks at like 9-2-3?
Yeah, and
Stand lethal?
depending on your detachment, you could give him Argath, the King of Blades, and Dawn of Concursion, and then he's strength anywhere between 10 and 12. And with attacks characteristic of 6, goes to 9 once per game, goes to 10 for corn, goes to 11 to 13. That's strength 10 to 12.
Okay. This guy actually kind of hits.
That guy actually is. Now, the problem with him after he actually hits you is he's dead. He's dead. He's a Daemon Prince with 10 wounds on your opponent's front doorstep. So I've tried a bunch, and he hits very hard. But he still has like the oops, a grenade and a tank shock and I'm gone problem. And
How many points is he?
he's with the enhancement, he's like 215. With that, he's like 190.
That is a lot.
He's not cheap.
No.
He's not as good as the Emperor's Children. Daemon Prince is like -1 damage and falling back, advancing and charging and all that. But he's one of the better Daemon Princes. I think he's a bread and butter Daemon Prince.
Is he better than the beast?
He's better than the Beast.
Okay. Shifting gears from the Daemon Prince, we have the Daemonettes, the tiniest of the Slaanesh friends.
Yeah, so they're
Not claws.
they also got a little bit of a change in their data sheet. They used to reroll hits against objectives, reroll ones otherwise. Now they don't do that. Instead, they now fights first, baseline.
That's good.
That's
It's
pretty
a good rule.
It's like a side grade from rerolling hits, I would say. It makes you, but you're obviously worse than the charge. You're fighting first either way. You're not rerolling hits, but you can take charges from trash and just kill them.
Yeah, they're really good into like aspect warriors.
Yeah. And then you can, at the start of the fight phase, you force your opponent to take a battle shock test at their engagement range.
That's cute. It's not like incredible.
It's not incredible, but it can definitely like be a nice boost in a moment. Aside from that, they're 100 points. They're 3 attacks each, and they're OC2 Devlins. So they're not bad for like pocket sand damage.
Yes, pocket sand damage is exactly how I would like describe them.
Yeah.
They're very fragile though.
They die like toughness 3/1, 1/5 up, and Volt dies faster than you would ever imagine. A Rhino with like 2 combi bolters and a Havoc
Kills
launcher
most of the series.
is like gone.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's a bread and butter unit to me. It's very side graded to Bloodletters. It's better like running on the table a little bit when getting charged, whereas Bloodletters are more about deep striking and charging.
They're fast, right?
If they're Demonets are base 9.
Okay, that's pretty fast.
If you passed. Yeah. Yeah, they're fine. Very side graded for objective stealing places.
Okay, but what if instead they were slow and on a bunch of Nurglings? Okay. And we had Epidemius.
Epidemius, he's still in this game. Proud of him.
I am stunned. You still like this game?
Some dodge and balance data slates left and right. Pour one out for Karanak.
Oh, he's coming back.
So they say. So Epidemius is this guy who rides a bunch of nerdlings and somehow gives his play bear friends a 4-up invul. Which is nice. Like play bears like their durability. He's also got a hilarious amount of combat. D6 plus 3 attacks at 5/2/2. So he gives your play bears an amount of combat capability. Random amount of combat capability and a 4-up invul to make him last longer. He also is one of Demon's only ways to regenerate and create CP. At the start of the well, throughout the entire game, you tally how many models your Nurgle demons kill. And once you hit 7, you finish your tally and you gain a command point at the start of your next command phase. And then you restart the tally. So in some matchups where you have a lot of Nurgle demons and you're playing against orcs, this tally is going to be awesome. You're going to have a lot of CP. And in other matchups, most matchups, you'll probably not generate any CP at all of this. He really suffers from being like an 80-point character you join to your Plague Bearers.
He's an 80-point character joined to a 100-point unit.
110-point unit.
Oh.
So then it's a 190-point unit. And all this unit is trying to do is sit on objectives and exist. And then he's making him better at that, but not 80 points better than that.
No. Is he cursed by chaos?
He's cursed. He's cursed by being overpriced.
You want to put him there?
Got the curse of points.
Okay. What about our flim-flam friend, the Exalted Flamer?
Flim Flams. I actually like this guy.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about him.
So he joins Flamers. He's at 65 points. He cheap. He gives them assault.
Relevant rule.
And they already have fallback and shoot, so he gains fallback and shoot by joining them.
That's good. Does he shoot like the Burning Chariot?
He is the same shooting as the Burn Chariot. So it's 2d6 flamer shots in your unit of flamers, or 3 solid shots.
Wait, I actually kind of like this guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty good.
He's also 6 wounds.
Wow.
So you're telling me that when he hops on top of 2 screamers, which are 3 wound models, he only gains 3 wounds.
How many points is him plus 3 flamers?
That is a 130-point unit.
That's really good.
It came down the recent balance states. I agree. We're going to rank these things good.
Yeah. Okay. Where is this guy?
I think this guy is a bread and butter choice. He's solid. I don't think he's A for awesome. He's good.
I'm going to put him at the top of bread and butter.
Yeah. Okay. His big issue, not really his issue, but the issue with Flamers, what gets them is they're only strength 4 base. So like even with the Lord Change buff, you're like strength 5, you're still strength 5 AP1 is only going to get you so far.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking where the Flamers are just there to bodyguard him as he's just like, pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not bad.
We were just talking about the Burning Chariot. Now we have another Screamer riding friend. We have the Fateskimmer.
Okay. Talk about a data sheet that is confused as hell.
Okay.
So this guy can either be his own self, or he can join Screamers.
Join Screamers. Okay.
So by himself, he's like a really garbage Burning Chariot. He doesn't give you Norse cover. His gun is substantially worse. It's the Herald gun, which is 3 shots at 6/2 D3 dead wounds.
That's not good.
Hits on 3s.
That's
no rerolls.
okay. No, it's terrible.
And he's got 2 Screamers, just like that thing before. It's 95 points. And he's a character, so he gives up assassinating stuff. When he joins Screamers, he gives them all lethal hits, which is like not bad.
It's not great though.
It's not great though. And then here's why I said he's confused, Quinn.
Yeah.
Screamers move 14, they're flying, they're beasts.
Okay, so go through walls.
Quick. And quick, yeah. I mean, he's moved 12, a little bit close, slower. You keep coherency pretty easy though. But he doesn't go through walls. He's not a beast. He's mounted.
Oh.
So now your Screamers lose a lot of mobility functionality. And then, because reasons, these Screamers have not gotten the update. They didn't get the memo. Screamers didn't go to training camp. So they're not anti-vehicle monster 4+. They are not hitting on 3s. So when you roll this unit of 6 Screamers in the Chariot out, you have to separate 2 Screamers out, and they're really bad little silly Screamers. And we have 6 normal Screamers. And why, I don't know. And they don't go through walls because these Screamers don't know how, but those Screamers do. And God, it's bad.
It's not very good. I kept waiting for you to be like, yeah, but also he gives you like +1 to hit wound or something.
Here's the good thing he does. Here's the real good thing he does. He goes up and down once per game, him and his unit.
Wait, don't demons do that already?
Yeah, so it's not that good. You would save a CP.
All right. Okay, it's bad.
I don't think this is D for don't take that. It's pretty bad, and you shouldn't take it. But the things that end up in D for don't take that are like truly bad.
I'm impressed at how bad your data sheets are.
There's a reason that I'm about this army a lot.
Yeah. We're going to have to cut that out unless you want to keep the word.
Foul demon!
Speaking of bad data sheets, we have the Feculent Gnarlmaw.
And this is a great example of why I couldn't justify the Screamer Chariot Fateskimmer in the same category as this tree. They can't be in the same category.
What does the tree do?
Nothing. It infiltrates. It provides cover to your 7-up armor save demons.
It provides cover to your demons?
It does. It's a fortification queen.
Oh no. Oh, the tree.
Besides that, it provides cover to your demons, Quains. It actually tries to help. It gives you a 6-inch aura of stealth for your Nurgle demons. But here's the thing with the tree. It's this really awkward tree base. It's not a base, it's a tree. And you put this somewhere. And then all of your Nurgle demons, like your Great Unclean One, who you're taking in your Nurgle army, your Rodicus,
Go around it.
they have to go around that and the ruins with these giant CD-ROMs from the 90s. It just doesn't work. Please don't take that. Please D for don't take that.
D for don't take that.
D for don't take that.
Is it better than these?
No. Okay. No. I would take the Changecaster. You know why? Because the tree is 100 points and the Changecaster is 60. And I can live at 1940, but I'm not living at 1900.
Also, the Changecaster could move.
It can move. It can do an action. I can deep strike it. The tree literally gets in my own way.
Well, this unit can move. Our next one, we have the Seekers.
And you know why we say movement win games? Because the tree doesn't move, we don't take that, and the Seekers do move, we do take those. Well, the Seekers are so good.
They're so annoying.
They scout 9, they move 14, they reroll advances and charges. They go. And they're +1 to advance and charge from their instrument. And they have these really cool oval bases, which allow you to
Big and screeny.
big move block. Big move block. You can also do cool fight phase manipulation stuff with there, but that's more niche because they're not really a damage dealing unit. I mean, they can beat up like some Despot. They're not really here for the damage. But if you go first and you're playing against like a Votann army and you just scout block the entire thing and then you move 1 inch away from the whole thing, especially in Disciples of Belakor, they're immune to Overwatch. You just don't get to play. It's awesome.
That sounds horribly annoying.
Yeah, you like consider yourself like move block, jailed. Unless you fly, you're not getting out of this.
You kept tagging my Wave Serpents and then being like, you can't get out after you move. It was really annoying.
Yeah, no, it's really good. Seekers make most of my list these days. I think they are an A for awesome unit.
Are they better than Bloodcrushers?
I'd say better than Bloodcrushers. They're very different. Bloodcrushers actually try to kill things, but Seekers very useful in almost every demon list.
Okay, well, we have a unit that is a really, really big, not mounted Seeker. We have Shalaxi Helbane.
Pour one out for Shalaxi Helbane. Do you know what happened to her?
I know she got like way worse and also lost all of her cool rules and is still the same cost.
So she dropped 70 points. She went from 450 to 380. You wouldn't even notice she dropped 70 points because that's what happens when you're 450 to start. Then she lost her 5 and feeling pain. Just take that right off her, along with all the other.
That was important.
So now she's not hard to kill. She's just an 18 or 21 monster.
Yep.
4 Pinball. That's what she's got for 370 points. She also used to reroll hits, wounds, and damage against monsters, characters, or vehicle units.
So like the durable things in the game.
Everything worth anything in the game. She rerolled everything against. Now, she picks one unit at the start of the battle to be her quarry. And she really doesn't like her quarry, so she rerolls hits, wounds, and damage against her quarries.
So like if you were playing My Sisters, you would pick one specific castigator.
Yes.
And then it would just like drive a little bit away from you and you just wouldn't have a cool rule.
Yeah. So the nice thing about it is if your quarry unit dies, you do get to repick one. So I'd probably actually pick like your 5 Dominions that die turn 1. And then I pick something else and something else and something else is the ideal. But in reality, I want to take Shalaxi and kill Morven Vol and her unit, and I just don't think that's going to ever happen.
No, it's not.
That's because she dies because she doesn't have feeling pain. She costs you 370 points. The rest of your army also died because there's not enough of it. She's D for don't take that.
D for don't take that. Wow.
Like literally D for don't take that.
All right, Shalaxi in D tier. What about her very angry cousin, Skarbrand?
Oh, okay. As much as Shalaxi got nerfed, Skarbrand got so much of a glow up. He went from move 8 to move 10.
Relevant?
And he got advance and charge.
Oh, so
Based on the
way faster.
He's way
faster. Okay.
He still hits, damage 6, lots of attacks. He's still got 2 damage sweep. He's got a pretty good flamer. His flamer, I think, also got buffed. Now it's 2d6 is straight to 8. AP 1 damage.
Oh, it's a real flamer. What the heck?
And he's +1 attack aura for all of your corn stuff nearby.
Wow, but he seems good.
He's actually quite good.
That seems...
I would even consider him awesome.
Wow, okay. We're thinking better, worse than the Seekers, like up here?
Look at there. And he's just A for awesome.
Is he as good as the Blood Altar?
No. The Blood Altar is actually the best data sheet in Chaos Demons.
Okay.
I can't keep it straight.
No.
Then I say this, Quinn. The Blood Altar is terrible. It can hold hands with the Feculent Gnarlmaw as they provides cover to the demon armies. Now it does actually provide cover to 3 upsave models in the Corn army. But it suffers once again from Bloodcrushers on these oval bases having to move around the stupid altar.
The altar's big too, right?
It's huge. So and it doesn't infiltrate. So this covered providing model,
Flame zone.
I'm pretty sure even if it does, it's so bad.
The skull cannon.
Okay. It's 90 points, and that's an important thing to remember when we consider this model is very much like the Burning Chariot in that it doesn't really do anything, but it's 90 points. It's toughness 9, 9 wounds to 4 Benvol, and OC 3. That's a good stat line. But then you back it up with this gun that is a gun. I don't really have much more to say about it. It's like D6 plus 2 shots. It's 7, 1, 2.
It's not outstanding.
It shoots gun.
It shoots gun, yeah.
And then we've got 2 Bloodletters. So, 4 attacks, it's strength 5, AP 2 damage. We can acknowledge the assault phase exists.
Chaos by Chaos, bread and butter? What are you thinking?
I don't know, man. I think if we're putting the Burning Chariot and bread and butter, it's right next to it.
Can they be friends together?
They can be friends.
They can be friends together.
It's not bad to be the action starter, meaning like you walk into the middle of the board and be like, I put an OC3 durable piece on the center. You have to like commit something real to kill it. But it's not great at that job out there.
No, I mean, like you could kill it.
Contest it.
Yeah, you just walk a tactical marine next to it. 2 tactical just okay, the Skullmaster. This is the guy that joins the Bloodcrushers, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So this guy is very interesting because he provides you with some real buffs. When he joins the Bloodcrushers, every bladed horn in the Bloodcrusher, that's the Bloodcrusher mount 4 attacks per god. Every single one of those gets dev wounds. So on a 7-man unit, 6 plus the character, that's going to be 28 attacks that now receive dev wounds, which actually only converts to like 3 dev wounds dealt, but it's not bad.
So it's like an extra 2 damage.
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah.
And then additionally, he will make it so that every unit charged by your big Bloodcrusher squad is going to have to take a battle shock at the start of the fight phase. Immediately getting charged.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
You're playing demons, you have your blue horse right next to him. So -1.
Bars. Yeah. So then, but if you start causing battle shocks, you can start to deal mortals with shadows, and then you do an extra couple dev wounds. It really does add up over time against certain targets. Here's the kicker. He is 100 points, which is almost the cost of 3 Bloodcrushers.
Oh, wow.
So when you run that math, it's never worth it to join to a 3-man. You're not really excited about joining to a 6-man either, because I think I'd rather just have a second 3-man Bloodcrusher. Yeah. And you could just follow that math until you hit 18, then you should really stop taking Bloodcrushers. But I do think he has one unique niche place that he actually brings value.
Is it in Shadow Legion?
Of course it's in Shadow Legion, Quinn. That's where all the cool stuff is these days.
And you give him the fade back enhancement?
No, you're putting him the Bloodthirster. That guy's an S tier. We're not messing around with S tier. You're giving him a different enhancement.
What does that one do?
You're giving him Leaping Shadows. So he and 6 Bloodcrushers can scout 9.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. And then they advance in charge. Like turn 1, you can jail somebody not only with your Seekers and Nurglings, but also your 7 Bloodcrushers charging your front line.
Still a tank of Bendriel them.
Yeah. You can really actually do damage on their deployment zone line on turn 1, like top of 1. That is legitimately good.
Okay, how are we feeling about him?
I think he's cursed by chaos. He's pretty bad, but he's got a place sometimes if you squint hard.
The Skulltaker.
He's a cool dude. He's got pretty good melee. He really hates characters. He wants to take those skulls.
Okay.
He rerolls hits and wounds against characters.
His unit?
Him.
Oh,
him.
that is worse. Yeah.
He's got baked in precision and he's got baked in dev wounds. He's got 6 attacks at 6-3-3.
Okay, so it's kind of hard.
It's kind of
hard.
Might be 6-2-3. Cool thing is he gives his Bloodletter unit devastating wounds also. So now we've got like a bunch of attacks with dev wounds to just punch up more. To me, he's very similar to a Bloodmaster. Instead of +1 wound, I get dev wounds. The characters themselves hit pretty comparably hard. Skulltaker's obviously better into a character. He'll cost a little bit more. But he still suffers from the same I don't want to pay 195 points for a unit of Bloodletters.
No, I completely agree. Can they be friends together?
He and the Skullmaster can be friends together.
There's the Skulltaker and the Skullmaster.
And the Bloodmaster. They're all hanging out. In the
Core needs to like get a more diverse naming scheme.
I agree.
Yeah.
They need the cool things like the Sloppity Bilepiper.
Sloppity Bilepiper. Oh, Sloppity Bill. I love his little organ bagpipe. It's so cute.
He's also up there for coolest characters in Warhammer.
He's pretty cool.
He's pretty great. He's also very interesting in the game. He makes your Plague Bearers go +1 move. And then at the start of the fight phase, all enemy units that are non-vehicle, non-monster, we'll take a battle shock.
Okay, so we got the Sloppity Bilepiper, then we have our blue horrors, and then we have our Skullmaster guy, Ren.
You don't have all these in the same list, I promise. But you can take some. Like I've definitely considered and even tried taking blue horrors in a Nurgle list just to like get the extra minuses going.
What if we just put this entirely on Battle Shocks, Nick? That will work every single time.
It has not worked for me yet. I will still try. We're never giving up on the dream. But no matter how many times I try Play Legion, I will still continue to think about it. And this guy gets better in Play Legion. It's all about Battle Shocks. He does Battle Shocks, and he gets access to the Canker Blight enhancement, which is going to make it so that instead of taking D3 mortals, I can just make it so a model dies in your unit. Which, let me tell you, when I used it on Custodes bikes and I got free kills on Custodes bikes because he failed Battle Shocks, it felt amazing. And for that reason, he's blessed by chaos.
Okay, where's he actually?
Oh, he can actually go to C tier. He can be cursed by chaos.
Oh.
There's going to be a lot of characters in C tier, I'm noticing.
Yeah. There are a lot of demon characters.
We're halfway through, folks.
Oh, boy. Okay, I'm excited about the Soulgrinder, though.
He grinds souls. He's our only good data sheet below 200 points when it comes to like dealing real damage and stuff. He is 180. He has real combat, like lots of attacks, strength 16, good damage, good attacks.
Yeah.
And depending on his mark, he gets better. He gets a different gun. He's got shooting is not negligible.
He's also gigantinormous.
That's the downside, you know. With all the good comes the bad. So he has some problems walking, you know, despite being a walker.
He does have problems walking.
He can move over ruins that are 4 inches or less in height, which sometimes you might find those. Oftentimes you don't. And then
You could like select him in TTS and like scale him down a couple times. Great unit.
he's a really awkward profile to like maneuver around the table, which if your opponents aren't good at move blocking or don't know how, or, you know, you don't have terrain, that's he gets better.
Yeah.
But, you know, you put him on a WTC board against some skilled opponents, and then he never gets to leave your deployment zone.
So you can deep strike him just outside your deployment zone.
You can, honestly, I stopped deep striking my soul grinders because they literally had to deep strike further away than they could have just walked the old-fashioned way. That said, I don't think this is a bad data sheet. I think that's actually carried by its raw stats quite well, and if it wasn't such a stupid profile, it would be like literally blessed by chaos.
Yes.
I think it's bread and butter.
Okay.
There's a solid reason and rhyme to run soul grinders.
We're in bread and butter, do you think?
Where's the prince? On the
Okay.
top end.
The Spoilpox Scrivener, another demon character I did not know existed.
I'm really proud that you knew what that looked like. Yeah. There's a Spoilpox Scrivener. You want to guess what he does?
I'm gonna guess that he gives +1 OC to Plague Bears.
You're right.
Yeah.
And sustain it.
Wow.
Yeah.
On their terrible profiles.
Hey, don't talk like that.
Well, okay, why does this guy give +1 OC? And this guy only gives sustained hits.
That's a great question.
Right?
Why?
Like if this guy
Both gives sustain hits, but one also gives plus one OC. I don't know.
the combat's the same.
They're useless either way. Okay. He's getting added to the gaggle of useless characters.
Okay, is he here or
Straight up next to Sloppity Bilepiper. Just put it right there. Yeah, hanging out with his Nurgle.
Okay. Syll'eske, we got 2 characters in one.
Okay, this one's not useless. This one's actually quite amazing.
This is one that I've seen you take.
I like her. She has 2 real usages. One is joined to 10 demonettes because she gives them critical 5s now devastating wounds. So that's like quite nice. And then demonettes fight first, so she'll fight first, and that's also quite nice. The other real use case I found for her, which is actually my preferred way to run her, is just a solo character. You deep strike her or you can deploy her. Either one works depending on the context. She comes back to life on a 2+.
That's really good.
She's got a 2d6 shot Devil and Flamer at strength 6, AP 1, North cover.
And then a bunch of attacks.
And then she's got 12 attacks, 6 crappy ones, 6 good ones. It's strength 7, AP 2, 3 damage. She's really good in like showing up on a 50 mil base, looking for any deep strike on a rapid ingress, and like running through a backfield.
She's very annoying.
She's really good at that stuff. Or she could be used to like turn 1, get the action going. You know, you lock on the middle objective and your opponent has to really commit something to kill her. Like a small little trash squad to contest it, she can overwatch away. A big commitment shooting, she can just stand right back up to life and hold the objective anyway. Your opponent's really got to bring some stuff out to deal with her. So she's very dynamic.
Yeah, 100%. I quite like her. We're thinking A for awesome or blessed by chaos?
I think A for awesome.
A for awesome.
She doesn't have the raw stats, just power through stuff sometimes.
The Changeling, another unit that we saw a bunch at the beginning of the edition, but I don't see as much right now.
Yeah, it suffers a little bit from like points creep.
Yeah.
But the Changeling is still very good. Talk about a not generic clone op. It has Deep Strike, which is great. It's only a 40 mil base, which is nice. He has a pretty good Flamer. It's strength 6, AP2, D3 damage with D6 plus 3 shots.
That's a relevant Flamer.
Yeah.
That's like not terrible.
And he's got some really funky rules for targeting him.
Okay.
If you target my Changeling, shooting, fighting, whatever, it doesn't matter. You're gonna have to take a Battle Shock, and probably at a negative -1 or 2, maybe because you're playing demons. Not only because you feel this Battle Shock, but you also then can't target the Changeling.
That seems really good.
Yeah, it's really good.
So if I have like my Morven Valparagon unit and I'm like, I'm gonna shoot you, and then I roll 2 2s, I just like can't shoot you.
You can't shoot me. And you also probably take D3 mortal wounds.
I hate that.
But don't think that's the end of my shenaniganery.
Oh, shenanigans.
Yes, because at the start of the shooting phase, I'm going to pick a unit within 12 inches of Changeling and roll dice. And on 2 through 5, it's -1 to hit. But on a 6, that's sweet, sweet 6. You just can't shoot at all.
But my Paragons.
Yeah, they're not shooting at all. Like is great when you're not shooting with Paragons.
So everything, and what are the change? Like, how many points is he?
He's 90.
That's not awful.
It's not awful. He suffers a little bit from like everything is between 70 and 90
Yeah.
bit even. So like, what do you take? But I think he's genuinely quite good. I think he's A for awesome.
A for awesome. What about the Masque?
Okay, this is our third and final lone op. The Masque is not my favorite of the bunch. She's only 3 wounds, which I think is a bit of a...
It's like 1 grenade.
1 grenade, 1 tank shock, 1 oops, the Bloodthirster exploded, and she's just gone. She's out of here. She's off.
I Solitaire for a while had 3 wounds, and I had to keep moving him away from my tank because my tanks would explode and kill him.
Yeah, and like that's the level of fragile I'm like uncomfortable with. You know, like you can be easy to kill, but you can't be free to kill. She's kind of free. She's aside from that, like a fights first lone op, but her combat is like 6 attacks at 4/2/2. So like,
Oh, that's not good.
yeah, she fights first and kills an intercessor.
Yeah.
And then
And Intercessor.
and it is intercessor. And then beyond that, she's got a real niche case scenario in Slaanesh. And you saw her a lot more when Legions of Excess was peaking, but now that it's gone, I doubt you'll see her. She basically allows you to pick at the start of the fight phase an enemy unit within 6 inches, and then all your Slaanesh demons are +1 to wound it, and they are -1 to win your Slaanesh demons.
Okay, that's a relevant rule.
Yeah, it
That's
does.
pretty good. Yeah.
But within 6 inches of the enemy, you're probably
You're probably dead.
dead. Yeah.
How many points is she?
85.
I mean, she is 1 use.
Yeah.
85 points for +1 to wound once? Maybe?
She is a lone op.
She is a lone op.
I don't know, Q. You think she's bread and butter or cursed by chaos? She's still a lone op.
I think lone op for 85 points is like already okay, and she has a rule that is not outstanding, but is relevant.
And she fights first.
And she fights first. And like, if you charge her with 2 surviving legionaries, she might kill them both.
Yeah, she really could.
I will put them in bread and butter.
Yeah,
like
she really hangs with the blue scribes for useless datasheet rules.
Okay, so we have another small Slaanesh character. We have the Tranceweaver.
Yes, the Tranceweaver is going to be a lot similar to many of our other characters here, which doesn't cost that much. She's like 60 points.
Does she give sustained hits to demonettes?
Close. She gives you reroll 1 state or reroll hits. She gives you the rule your demonettes used to have.
It makes your pocket stand spiky.
Yeah, your pocket span can do a little bit more. If you're fighting on objective, your pocket span is going to have like 27 hits. So you're going to do 4 or 5 mortals. Not bad.
That's cute.
I just don't want to make my demonette squad cost 160. That's really all it is.
No, she's not.
She's cursed by chaos because she costs points.
I want to put her there.
Yeah.
The Fiends!
Fine.
The Fiends. They were so good.
Yeah, okay. So in Legions of Excess, we're not really going to go deep into every nerf thing to hit us with, but we no longer reroll wounds is the biggest one. So Fiends, still a decent profile. 5 attacks at 5/2/2 dead wounds. They lost their -1 to hit in melee. So that's worse. They're much easier to kill there, and they're not helping out your other stuff. But they still have the if you fall back, you take a desperate rule.
I mean, that's like,
It's not useless. It's not for nothing.
I don't think I've ever had that rule come up in any game of 40k I've ever played.
I've played with rock grinders who actually have that rule as well, and their job in life is often to bump into stuff, and then I forget that I even have it.
It's not a good rule.
It's not a good rule. They are not good, honestly. They're not what they were at their peak, and they are pretty much what they were before their peak, which was not really taken.
They're worse than their peak, though, right?
They're between cursed and bread and butter, I think.
Are they bread and butter, really? Would you take these in the demonic incursion?
And there are no fiends in any of my list. Put them in cursed. They're cursed. They're not the bottom of cursed. They're better than the chariots.
How about the Flamers? The Flim Flam Friends?
Flim Flam Flamers are good. Flim Flam Friends. Especially with all these elves running around these days. Ooh, Flamers love an elf meta.
But I'm gonna tag them.
Yeah, but they fall back and shoot.
Oh.
D6 shots each, strength 4, AP 1 damage, ignores cover. Nothing too exciting, but it is real damage. That is. Especially when armies don't have Armor of Contempt, you're taking at best 3s and 4s.
Yep.
And then with the high quantities of shots, it can get stuff done. Lord Change buff, you get it to strength 5.
Overwatch is good.
Overwatch is solid. 130 for 6 models with a 4-up invul and 3 wounds each.
That's very cheap.
That's really
Very
cheap.
cheap, yeah.
3 wounds and a 4-up invul is actually really tough to kill.
Yeah, 100%. That's very annoying.
And then you add in Shadow Legion, where they're all -1 to hit all the tournament.
Okay, no, they're durable. They're a durable unit.
A for awesome.
A for awesome. Another unit that you think is really good, you have the Fleshhounds.
Another exciting unit that got quite the glow up. So Fleshhounds used to heroic for free within 6 inches.
That was garbage.
Garbage. You know what they have instead now?
Go up and down?
Up and down all
That's
the time.
a great roll.
It's great. And yes, it's in the context of demons, but this is legit up and down that I basically on a data sheet I want to take anyway.
Yeah, you don't have to spend a CP, or you can use it on more important stuff.
Yeah, or I can use it on like Belakor and something so I can get my damage where I need it and still have somebody doing it for containment. They are pretty decent. They move through walls. They have 3 attacks each at 5/1/1, which isn't bad, but they love the Disciples of Belakor buffs. Advance and charge for free.
So good.
Lance and +1 AP.
Incredible.
Incredible. That really, strength 5 with Lance hit AP2 is a different profile.
Yep.
Add in 1 Grandmaster, and now you're strength 6 AP3 2 damage Lance. Stuff dies.
Well, no, that's a real comment.
That is like, oh, your 5 intercessors actually just got eaten.
Yep.
By my 70-point dog squad.
Wow.
75.
That's a great unit.
A for awesome. Actually, no.
Blessed by Chaos.
Blessed by Chaos. This is your best skirmishing unit.
This is the Fluxmaster.
Flux. Is it though? That is the Flux.
I was right. Look at that. I got the Spoilpox Scrivener. I got Sloppity Bilepiper. I got the Fluxmaster.
We had Demon X.
Demon, basically a demon. Sign up for my demon code tree.
So the Fluxmaster is -1 to hit for him and his unit.
Okay.
The Fluxmaster lets you flip a die for him and his unit. So every battle rounds. This could be a save, or this could be one of his 3 attacks that does D3 dev wounds.
Okay.
That's basically all he does. But he costs the same as the Changecaster, and he gives your unit -1 to hit.
What? Or sustained hits?
Yeah, I know, on your unit of pink R's. Your pink R's. He also moves 12. He's on a disc. So, that's actually quite useful.
That is very hop to front of the unit.
The front of the unit, in the back, hop to the front. It extends that charge range. I know, Quentin. He's still not that good. I've tried him countless times. I've tried Bella Fluxmaster. I've tried Joy the Horror Fluxmasters countless times.
I've made fun of you for how many times you keep trying to have this guy.
He's cursed. He's not D for don't take that, because I'm gonna take that. You know what else I'm gonna take?
Get the Great Unclean One.
The Guo.
Yeah, you are.
Fungus.
Feel a fan on this guy.
That's right. Put him in Demonic Incursion, give him the Endless Gift, let him rock a Feel a Pain to victory. Especially with his new profile. He's now featuring a Strength 10 sword. You know how good it is that he's got a Strength 10 sword?
He's Strength 8 before.
He was Strength 8. He wounded rhinos on 5s. Now he wounds them on 3s. Think about the conversion.
Why was he Strength 8?
He's not anymore. They asked the same question. They got a better answer.
Why was he just saying Strength as a power fist?
I know. This guy's hilarious. But he's also got more good rules, too. He's now, instead of a 6 of Feel and Pain, or he's a +1 toughness.
Toughness 13.
Toughness 13 on this bad boy. Toughness 6 Plague Bears.
Now, the Scourges will never kill him.
No, literally. I've watched. Scourges don't kill him.
You think Blessed by Chaos?
He's blessed by Chaos.
Blessed by Chaos.
He's blessed. He's 4 Feel and Pain on this man. Just let him cook.
Okay, another man who's cooking. We have the Horticulous Slimux.
How can they write rules like the Great Unclean One and write the Horticulous Slimux on the next page? How can they look at those two things and be like, these things make sense? For half the cost of the Great Unclean One, BOGO deal, you could have 2 Horticulous Slimux. 1 Horticulous Slimux has potentially a modicum of damage, most of the time 0 damage. He has no shooting. He's got the ability to turn terrain features into Shadows of Chaos. Mind you, the Great Unclean One is a 6-inch aura of Shadows of Chaos. He does not make enemy units -1 toughness like Mr. Unclean One.
It's not toughness 13.
He, in fact, can join Beasts of Nurgle. So, I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna school you for a minute. If he joins Beasts, you might want to get excited about this and, do the 2-man Beast unit with the Horticulous Slimux. That whole combo right there is only gonna lean you a clean 250. The same exact cost as a Great Cleaner. What does it do? I'll tell you. The Beast
doesn't scout.
The Beast scout, but he doesn't, so it won't be doing that. The Beasts, they're beasts. They go through walls, but this man, he's too big to go through walls. He's mounted. He rides Horticulous.
Molt.
He rides Mulch. Horticulous Slimux rides Mulch, so therefore no more wall going for it. This unit is actually one of the worst units of the game. Do not ever take this. And I love him. He's one of my favorites. Look how cool he is. He's got googly eyes. He's literally got googly eyes. He's just not good.
How is the Harp Lady?
How do you think the Harp Lady is?
I don't know how the Infernal Enrapturess is. She used to have like a pocket Dark Lance.
She still does.
Oh,
One shot, plays the harp, strength 12, AP 3, D6 plus 1.
oh, it's pretty good.
Hits on a 3, no rerolls in sight.
That's not good though.
It's okay because she's going to join her Demonettes and heal D3 of them. You like Sacrosan's healing. It's like the same thing.
Yeah, you're just not -1 for my save.
So here's what happens when Quinn puts the Sacrosans and his sister's army out. You know, 1 or 2 Sacrosans go in the objective, and your code kills them, and you heal back on the objective.
Yeah.
I try that with Demonettes. I got my 10 Demonettes in my Harp Lady, and I put 1 or 2 Demonettes on my objective, and my opponent shoots them, and I have no more Demonettes.
Yeah, he shoots a rhino at you, and you have nowhere to be next.
Right. So, again, we could take our 100-point Demon unit and make it cost 160.
Is she D for don't take that, or is she C for Cursed by Chaos?
She's D for don't take that.
Ooh, oh, she's bad. Oh, she's bad. Okay. Oh, your favorite.
Yes.
Your favorite. Yeah. Kairos Fateweaver.
Give him to me. Give him to me, Q. Fateweaver. Oh, he's so good. He got better. Did you know he got better?
Yeah, his CP regen.
His CP region got better. Nowadays, let me tell you, all you do is take a leadership test, a humble leadership 5 on this man, because he brings his own shadows with him. Take a lead 5. You pass lead 5 in your command phase, you get a command point.
That's good.
Amazing.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. He's also a 12-inch Lord of Deceit ability, so you're using strats as the opponent into Fateweaver or anybody near Fateweaver? No, you're not. Cost 2. Cost an extra 1.
Indirect gun.
He's got your only good source of indirect demons have access to. The only one. Well, pretty much the best indirect gun in all of Chaos, the super faction. He's amazing. He's amazing. He's an amazing bird. He suffers from the fact that his gun is going to hit on 4s because he got caught in the game-wide indirect nerf
Which was good. This was a good nerf.
But it was unnecessary for my bird. And then
you can have the bird back. I'll get my Night Spinners back.
Now,
call it a day.
Now, and then beyond that, he's actually got a pretty decent combat profile, which, you know, is very controversial.
Staff of Tomorrow.
Staff of Tomorrow. One head looks forward and one head looks back. He's pretty cool.
Neither head is looking at the Wraithlord and combat with him, though.
I have tried. I've tried to run Fateweaver countless times. I will still try to run Fateweaver countless times.
He's not very good.
He is very good. He's going in 8 for awesome, Quinn. He really is. I think he's better than Skarbrand. I think he's around the Flamers, Bloodcrusher level of good.
Okay.
I think he's like, those are the units I make my demon list out of. And like, I'm not that sad that I have Fateweaver.
Not that sad that I have Fateweaver.
Look, you can't take 5 Belakors.
That's true.
I wish. I wish I could have 2 Fatethirsters.
What about the Keeper Secrets?
Okay, let me tell you about this model. This model has had quite the journey. So first, it had its current stat line and a 5 of Female Fane, and it cost 290, and no one took it. And then they gave it full rerolls to hit and wound, fall back, and do stuff. And then everybody took it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Then they took off the rerolls to wound and the 5 of Female Pain.
Okay.
And they more or less kept it the same cost.
Oh.
And now nobody takes it. Nobody should ever take it.
No, it seems terrible.
It's okay at dealing with elite infantry with its strength 8 attacks, but God forbid you give it a rhino to chew on and then you're going to miss that fallback and charge. Which you could do in your Legions of Exodus. And honestly, in Legions of Exodus, you are going to run at least one of these. But holy crap.
So what are we thinking? Cursed by Chaos? If you don't take that?
D for don't take that.
Oh, D for don't take that. Wow.
Well, because you shouldn't be playing Legions of Exodus. That's true. No, that's the truth of the matter. If you are, caveat, you can play it. It'll be cursed, but you can play it.
What about the bird with 1 head? The Lord of Change.
The bird with 1 head is not as good as the bird with 2 heads. He's almost a mandatory choice if you're building a Zine-centric army because he's a 6-inch aura of +1 strength. And strength 5 is a nice breakpoint for your Flamer. Strength 10 is a very important breakpoint for
It's huge. You could actually shoot tanks, yeah.
And if you're playing Scintillating Legion, you can give him Infernal Puppeteer. If you're playing in the Demonic Incursion, you can give him the Everstave. So he usually has an enhancement he can take that's pretty good. But he kind of sucks.
I keep getting shot by this guy and then not dying. It happens every time. They're like, pow, 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 I shoot you. And I'm like, I took 6 damage on my emulator.
If you are in Demonic Incursion and you have the Everstaff and you pop +1 AP, you are at roughly 50-50 odds to kill a Rhino-type vehicle.
That's just like not it.
It's not it.
It's not it.
It's not it.
God forbid your opponent checks notes, pop smoke.
I think he's like bread and butter because you kind of have to take him to run Zinch units en masse. And, you know, he's not happy about it.
No. Okay, what about Nurglings, the tiniest of the demons, the cutest of the demons? I want a Nurgling plushie.
Where do you think these will end up, Quentin?
Blessed by Chaos.
Blessed by Chaos. You already know. 35 points for an infiltrating unit. 90 points for 36 wounds to 6 up invul.
What's their points per wound? It's like 3, right?
Something 36 wounds at 90 points. What is that? That's like less than 3. Yeah, 2.6 points. Yes. Now
Nothing else matters. The points per wound is so low.
it's and they start in midfield. So
Yeah.
you can legit run 54 these little guys because they're battle line. They also don't give up Call the Horde because they're not infantry. It's absurd. They're -1 in melee, and if you're playing Shadow Legion, which is better than Plague Legion, you
There's -1 to wound.
might want to.
Why are they? There's toughness 3, right?
Yeah.
Why are they not toughness 2?
Because strength 6, the premier strength for killing Nurglings like the Shuriken Cannon needs to wound it on 4s. 3s. But if you take a green clean one, it'll wound on 4s. You could even take a green clean one and scout them 9 inches, and then you can give all these Nurglings toughness 4.
Then we take the trees. Now we're -1 to hit,
Give them cover.
-1 to wound. Boom.
Boom.
Done.
The trees can't move block you if you deploy in front of them.
Pink horrors.
Okay.
Okay.
If we just look at pink horrors and we take away everything you could add to pink horrors that cost points, they're actually good.
Okay.
At 140, we get a unit that's OC2 and splits. Split is an amazing roll. Every single time you kill a horror, at the end of that activation, I'm gonna roll die for every horror you killed. If I hit a 4-up, it becomes 2 blue horrors.
Assuming you don't kill all the horrors.
That's true.
Yes.
That's true. If you kill them all, it'll be sad. And then if the blue horrors roll 4-ups when they die, they become Brim horror. So theoretically, your 10-man pink horror unit could be 50 models big. It's an average of like 30, which is still
It's not nothing.
yeah. And it's got some weaknesses. It's a little grenadable because you don't get to split off of things like grenades or tank shocks, those mortal ones. You can really get around it depending on the army you're playing against. And then, of course, if you're one shot, you don't get to really do this, which leads you down the rabbit hole of wanting to buy Flux Masters to make a -1 to hit and make them flip a save, so a little bit tougher to kill in one activation. That's all a trap. I think if you just run 1 to 2 squads, because some people can't deal with them efficiently and you just run the table with them, that's really awesome. At the end of the day, it's a big OC2 unit, but beyond that, it's not that great.
So where are we thinking?
I'm thinking they are
Bread and butter?
I think bread and butter.
Okay, where in
Brown and kind of the top of bread and butter by the Soulgrinder, by the Exalted
I'll
Flamer.
put them there. Okay, very cool. The Plague Bearer.
Okay. This is a unit that largely outshines the pink horror in not every case, but many cases, because it is 2 wounds and plus 5.
2 wounds. 2 units that do nothing but stand there in our OC2.
And this one's cheaper.
Yep. Oh,
And
wow.
it's Flicky's the objective.
That's good.
It's slower, but no one cares that we're slower. Let's just toss this an A for awesome and call it a day.
Ooh, top 8 for awesome. What are we thinking?
Yeah, it could be ahead of it. It could be the top. Every demon list has got some plague bears.
I'll put them there.
Yeah, why not?
Okay, but what if they have drones?
Okay.
These guys seem good, right? They're tough. They're T7. They're 5 wounds each.
T8, T9 here, great at Leon.
Wow, that's got to be broken, right?
Yeah, they fly, they move 10.
What's not to like?
Any of their offensive capabilities at all.
I have a story here.
Mhm.
I was looking at demon allies for my Death Guard. And I was like, these guys are very tough and not expensive. And then I said, Nick, how are the plague bears riding the dumb fly things?
And then I said they're terrible.
And then I was like, that cannot be real. And you were like, they do no damage. And I was like, well, surely I'll just add -1 save and -1 toughness and their offense will be good. And then I read their offense and I was like, oh my God, these are terrible.
They are truly terrible at doing anything offensive at all. But the cool thing they can do is they can throw Death's Heads.
Yes?
And then once they're hit by Death's Heads, all your other Nurgle demons will reroll wounds for the turn against that target, which is not that effective, I tell you.
It's really not.
Nurgle demons are not the army that's concentrating its forces to bear upon 1 point to extinguish it. You're like trying to get the Great Unclean One into attack with this giant base, trying to pile it around the tree.
What is their offense? It's like 3 attacks at like 4/1/1, hitting on like 4.
There's just the weapons you get. You've got the Rot Proboscis, if you want it. And that could be 5 attacks that they hit on 4s. And they straight by no reels. No reels in sight.
Okay.
Don't forget the Plague Bear idea. He's good for some damage. His little stored attacks. These guys do fly. They do move 10. They are tough to kill. And for that reason, they're only cursed by chaos. Unlike the rest of the units, which are mostly cursed by points, this unit is cursed with damage. It does not do that one.
Okay, this is the Pox bring it, right?
He brings pox. He brings pox.
Yeah.
What does he do besides bring pox?
I don't know.
Oh, come on. The demon expert.
Is he crit 5s? Crit 5! Yay! He got it! I'm stunned at how much I know about these. I didn't look any of these up.
So he got that 5 air. He's a 6-inch orb -1 leadership.
Oh, we got him. We got the blue orbs.
Now you see the demon synergies. You got the blue orbs. You got the Pact of Ring. Put them together. You got Shadows -3 leadership here. Everybody fails.
Nick, how have you not built an army ran battle shock test?
I have.
That seems really
You
good.
guys have tabled it every time.
Just try harder. More battle shock.
I haven't gone all in enough. That's what it is.
Okay, where does he go?
Okay. Genuinely, he's only 55 points, and he actually makes your play bearers like decent at combat. Like they really go from not doing anything to like killing tanks. It's actually crazy because not only do they benefit from the quick 5s, which means they just do a lot of damage to things that they shouldn't do damage to, but he has 4 attacks at 5/2 too. So like, you know, he's good for like 2 saves, and then you fail 1 or 2 of those. Like it adds up. Not like here's your Lehman Russ one-shot, but I will drag you down miserably.
Silver 4 or 5 battle rounds.
Yeah. He's bread and butter. Okay. He's better than all the rest of those characters. He's not going into gaggle.
Put him there.
Yeah, he can come out of chariots.
This is the Rend Master on Skull Throne?
This is actually a great unit. Let me tell you. Okay.
I know what this guy does.
He's what? You tell me.
He picks, he's like several Bloodletters on a Chariot. He hits harder than he should. And then he picks a unit within 12 inches?
18?
18 inches?
And visit.
And he gives you +1, was it strength, attack, and damage? Strength, AP, and damage.
AP and damage.
Yeah.
That's right. So he buffs all your corn stuff, especially things like Bloodletters and Fleshhounds, which are notably kind of bad. They love a little bit of extra damage and strength and AP. And then he himself is pretty good at combat. He's got 5 attacks plus his mount attacks, which are basically 2 more Bloodletters. And then that's 5 attacks at 6/2/3. And he rerolls wounds against character units. Oh, monsters.
That's not bad.
Yeah, and if he kills one of those character units or monsters, he just heals D6 wounds back.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So he actually is quite decent, and he's tough. T9, 4 up, invul 9 wounds. He's a little vulnerable to things like Blastmasters and Dark Reapers.
Yeah, he is.
Strength 10, 3 damage is like the worst kind of break points for him. But against the right targets, he's super durable.
Yeah.
In a corn-heavy army, he's an auto included. He's blessed in a corn army. But I think in general, for awesome.
Okay. I'll put him like here.
Yeah.
Rodigus.
This is a data sheet you flirted with.
I have flirted with this guy. He's been in some of my lists before.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
He does it all. He's like a Grading Queen one that's even better than a Grading Queen one. He has a 2d6 shot, Strain 7, AP2 Daemon Flamer. He's got 8 attacks that are 3 damage, which he then gives a buff of +1 damage to a Nurgle unit in melee, which he often receives this buff and has a 2 damage sweep then, or a 4 damage smack. Or he can give it out to Plague Bearers, which the Plague Bearer plan, Poxbringer plus Plague Bearers don't bring down Lehman Russ. It becomes a little more real.
I mean, we gotta add the plague drums in there. I mean,
We don't need to add the plague drums. We've tried the plague drums. But not only that, but he gives you a 6-inch aura of -1 OC and -2 move.
it's hard to contest away from Nurgle demons.
No, he's quite good actually.
And blessed by chaos.
He's blessed.
I'm gonna put him next to his cousin there. We got the Screamer.
Last but not least, I love Screamers. The Screamers have had quite the glow up, and I actually think they're great now. And they got a points decrease, which is like, you get better rules, any points come down. How can you not like that? So they are move 14 beasts, do not attach a chariot. When they fly over you on a normal move, I roll a dice for every model in my unit, and on a 4-up, you take a mortal. So like they can just throw grenade mortals in the movement phase. Seems good. They're 3 attacks each, so 18 attacks from a full squad. At hitting on 3s, Strain 6, AP2, 2 damage. Now, no rerolls is tough, but they are anti-monster vehicle 4+, so it can actually really add up against tanks.
Yeah, I mean, if you do some fly over some mortals, you shoot like a burning chariot at it, it's at like 6, and you charge and you kill it.
Yeah, and that's very much how this army operates. And then they're also tough. There's, the same 3 wound, 4 up invul profile. So as long as you're not spamming yourself into damage 3 attacks, you are good to go.
Makes sense.
And -1 air from demonic incursion.
As long as you're not getting shot by like a castigator, then you're good.
Yeah, those would hurt. I genuinely think that unit is also A for awesome, right by the Bloodcrusher.
And that is the Demon Chaos.
Yay!
Nick, there were way more Demon data sheets than I was expecting.
Me too.
I thought there were like 6.
It took a while to do this.
And this is after the Great Purge.
This is after we got rid of all the chariots in Karnak. Could you imagine all these chariots in here?
All down here in Infernal Take. This was pretty good.
I was taking the chariots, cute.
Well, you were taking the chariots.
Yeah, I wish there was. I'm very curious what you all think, and if you disagree, if you agree, give me some of your opinions on these hot takes. But Quentin's curious too, our resident demon expert here.
All right, clearly, yeah. I know it all. I know the names of all of these guys.
You sure do?
Yeah.
And that's what counts.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know your thoughts. We love hearing your feedback. You can see we have the unit being discussed here only because you loved it and praised it so much, and we saw that. We respond to your feedback. So thank you so much for giving it. We really do try to listen. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment. As I was saying, it really helps us out. And check out that worm if you're looking for even more amazing demon content.
Thank you all for watching. Have an excellent day, and we'll see you around.